Fire for your mind. Kosher clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women, clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters, acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Whoa, now it's the frog's turn!
He was throwing punches at Rudolph during the fistfight, but insisting no one pulled a gun and all 4 ran and got into their car. But Rudolph's attorney insisting Rudolph was acting in self-defense.
Isn't an argument with Dominique Jones, a woman Rudolph maintained several times today was never his girlfriend after Jones found evidence of Rudolph texting other women. The state countered that not only was Rudolph in a relationship, but he was cheating. Here's the comment Rudolph says threw Jones into a rage.
She's like, Travis, you can't be telling another female that just got surgery that another female looks better than her and her body looks better than her. She made the call looking for answers pretty much.
And so you had to convince her then, based on that conversation, that you weren't his actually, right?
It wasn't cheating.
Earlier today, Rudolph's mother took the stand as well, maintaining what happened more than 2 years ago in 2021 was an act of self-defense, a claim echoed by Rudolph today at the stand. And he said he did what he had to do to save he and his brother's life, and that if he hadn't have done so, he wouldn't be here today to testify. Reporting in Palm Beach County, Chris Gilmore.
The accusation has not been proved beyond a reasonable doubt. We will next need to decide if the defendant is guilty of any lesser included crime. The lesser crimes indicated in the definition of first-degree murder with a firearm are second-degree murder with a firearm, manslaughter with a weapon. The lesser included crimes indicated in the definition of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm for counts 2, 3, and 4 are attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, aggravated battery with a firearm, or aggravated assault. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty. This means you must presume or believe the defendant is innocent. The presumption stays with the defendant as to each material allegation in the indictment through each stage of the trial, unless it has been overcome by the evidence to the exclusion of and beyond a reasonable doubt. To overcome the defendant's presumption of innocence, the state has the burden of proving the crime with which the defendant is charged was committed, and the defendant is the person who committed the crime.
The murder trial for former NFL player and FSU star Travis Rudolph continues.
Testimony for the trial. It started Wednesday. Rudolph is accused of killing a man and injuring another during a shooting in Lake Park 2 years ago. Rudolph says it was self-defense. Our Caleb Califano live outside the Palm Beach County Courthouse with more. Caleb?
Well, it definitely was an intense morning here in the courtroom as the defense started their cross-examination of Dominique Jones. That's the former girlfriend of Travis Rudolph. It's also the same woman the defense cast some initial blame on the night of the shooting. Now, the defense going back through Jones and Rudolph's relationship, discussing financial situations, their future, Rudolph's future in the Canadian Football League, and what happened the night of the shooting. Jones walked through how she was, quote, more hurt than angry when she found texts from other women in Rudolph's phone the night of the shooting, but then immediately wanted to leave and not escalate it any further, alleging that Travis was the erratic one and wouldn't let her leave at first. When asked about texts sent to Jones' brother Keyshawn, one of the 4 men who confronted Travis the night of the shooting, Dominique says a specific inflammatory text she sent, which included the phrase "shoot up," was not meant as a literal threat, but was a text sent out of emotion.
I was upset and my adrenaline was running and I said something that I didn't mean. That's the bottom line of that. I didn't mean for my brothers to do any of that. That's why when my brother left the house.
Now the murder trial of Travis Rudolph is expected to last a week as we learn more about these witnesses and more details. We'll make sure to keep you updated on air.
Her after she found texts from other women on his phone telling them to come shoot up the house. One of those men, the girlfriend's brother, testifying he was throwing punches at Rudolph during the fistfight, but insisting no one pulled a gun and all four ran and got into their car. But Rudolph's attorney insisting Rudolph was acting in self-defense.
Isn't that a fact? That you guys immediately attacked him, never giving him a chance to do anything.
No.
Rudolph's attorneys say he never began shooting until two of the men in the car pointed guns at him through the windows, and he was in fear for his life.
They were vigilantes. They were four men who went there to retaliate and kill, just as they were ordered to do.
But
After an argument with Dominique Jones, a woman Rudolph maintained several times today was never his girlfriend after Jones found evidence of Rudolph texting other women. The state countered that not only was Rudolph in a relationship, but he was cheating. Here's the comment Rudolph says threw Jones into a rage.
She like, Travis, you can't be telling another female that just got surgery that another female looked better than her and her body looked better than her. She made the call looking for answers pretty much.
And so you had to convince her then, based on that conversation, that you weren't in fact cheating, right?
It wasn't cheating.
Earlier today, Rudolph's mother took the stand as well, maintaining what happened more than 2 years ago in 2021 was an act of self-defense, a claim echoed by Rudolph today at the stand. And he said he did what he had to do to save he and his brother's life, and that if he hadn't have done so, he wouldn't be here today to testify. Reporting in Palm Beach County, Chris Gilmore.
The accusation has not been proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You will next need to decide if the defendant is guilty of any lesser included crime. The lesser crimes indicated in the definition of first-degree murder with a firearm are second-degree murder with a firearm, manslaughter with a weapon. The lesser included crimes indicated in the definition of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm for counts 2, 3, and 4 are attempted second-degree murder with a firearm, aggravated battery with a firearm, or...
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated. A book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen, men are not complex. They are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV. Emasculated. Go get your copy now. Before there was the manosphere, I was. Before there was the internet, I was. I was that Sigma male crying out in the wilderness for justice and equality for those that are downtrodden and broken, those that are voiceless. I was the kosher clinician. Before I was the kosher clinician on the internet. My plight and my war cry for justice and humanity is nothing fake. But I've always been kosher. Then sit back and get this kosher fun. Hello everyone. Is there equality in America, fact or fantasy? First of all, I would like to salute all fellow human beings and most graciously those who are beacons of light for justice and righteousness. To vocally explain the tenets of equality, fact or fantasy, I must begin with the combination of two alphabets, I and F, which spells if. There's no respect of person, but gives protection to all them that fear him. So therefore I ask you this profound and non-scholastic question. If there was equality in America, will I be standing here today? You decide fact or facts.
This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition.
Faith is before you. Choose wisely. I was going to chill out a little bit. But this is going to be a good show on tonight, guys, as we talk about, have you dated women that have the spirit of Miss Piggy and Dominique Jones? Many of you men have stories dealing with abusive women and violent women. We're going to get into it and talk about it. And we're going to explore why so many men continue to sabotage themselves dealing with women like this. So guys, get your pen and paper ready. We're going to have a good one on tonight. Thank you for the 17 tuning in. We're going to have a good show tonight, guys. So get your pens and paper ready. I'm going to drop some fire for your mind on tonight. We're going to talk about, and also explore from Chantel Simone, why so many men are frustrated and going abroad, but also dealt with women Miss Piggy. Tune in.
When you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all the other stuff. What you hear is you strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl walk, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's do it. We're going to have a great time tonight. And thank you from Obong Anwa. I appreciate it, dear. We're going to have a good show on tonight. And because this conversation needs to be had. Get your pens and paper ready, guys. Let's go.
All right, guys, I didn't want to do it, man, but I had to talk about it, guys. I had to talk about it on tonight. You know, so many men are dealing with women that got the spirit of Miss Piggy. And you guys know what I'm talking about. They are aggressive. They're loud. They're violent. They wear weave. And they got them long eyelashes and them raptor claws. And many of these women have insecurities because they're dealing with fragile egos many times, and many times they have narcissistic traits or could be bona fide narcissists. And they need a man to make them feel good. Therefore, they pick on men that are weaker and are less evolved because they got the spirit of Miss Piggy. And see, many times, Miss Piggy, the spirit of Miss Piggy, you know, they'll get men that look like Kermit the Frog or Woodrow because they're weak and frail. And consistent with Jezebel, you know, these women love men they can control. And many of these men were never raised around strong or masculine men. They're raised around their mothers many times, which in essence mean they over-identify with their mother. And it's not an indictment into the man because you can't help who you were raised around. But some of these women that have the spirit of Miss Piggy, and this is no disrespect to sisters that are overweight, because I'm not talking about sisters that are overweight and they are humble women. I'm not talking about those sisters. But I'm talking about women that are Lizzo big, you know, and got big egos and they're arrogant. And they look their nose down on average guys and they think that they deserve a man better, but they offer nothing. They got weave. They got eyelashes. Everything about them is synthetic and fake. And many times because of it, guys, not only do they want to be in control, but they got the spirit of Miss Piggy. Yeah, they want to be in control. They want to be in control. But also they got the spirit of Miss Piggy. Shout out to my dear friend, Sister Abak Angwa for the 5, man. I got to give her some love, man. Coming in for the $5 super chat. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. And because of your $5 love offering, dear, you're the #1 sponsor of this stream, and you are dynamite. I appreciate it, guys. And donate to the channel, guys. Y'all like what I'm doing. Because content creation is taxing. And so, thank you, dear, for showing love, and thank you for donating to the channel. I appreciate it, Six. But the spirit of Miss Piggy, but the spirit of Miss Piggy is rampant. Shout out to my dear friend, Red Lipstick. That's my dear. I love that sister. It's rampant, man. You know, and many men, they got stories dealing with women like Miss Piggy. You know, Miss Piggy knocked the hell out of you, man. And it's unfortunate, you know, because some of you men, you tolerate it. But see, Miss Piggy won't be alive in South America and some African countries. Miss Piggy will be a rotisserie pig, because men in other countries don't tolerate that. They don't tolerate women getting in their face. They don't tolerate women putting their hands on them. They don't tolerate women that are misandric and have a visceral hatred for men. They don't tolerate it. But see, men here in America, they tolerate it because they were raised by their mama. And they over-identify with their moms instead of identifying with masculine principles. And see, when you identify with masculine principles, you don't allow women to put their hands on you. And you don't allow a man to put their hands on, but you're definitely not going to allow a woman to put her hands on you because you know that it can turn ugly. But women love men like Kermit the Frog, because Kermit the Frog loves to drink tea. Kermit the Frog is effeminate. He loves to gossip. Because see, when you think about women think about tea because tea is gossip. So they either associate with men like Kermit the Frog or they date men like Kermit the Frog because those men do not personify masculinity. They personify weakness. What you men and women must understand on tonight is this. Narcissists tend to prey on weak people. They don't deal with strong people that are cerebral. They prey on weak people. They will love bomb you. They will manipulate you. They will gaslight you. They will prey on you. They will assault you. They will size you up. And if they think they can control you or destroy you, they'll call you a lick. Because for the narcissist guys, it's always about control. Oh yeah, we're going to get into it tonight, guys, but y'all get these likes up and start donating to the channel, man. Y'all got to donate, man. Y'all got to show some love, man. What you say? Red Lips said, let the Lord use me. We're going to rebuke the spirit of Miss Piggy on the night. And see, here's the problem, guys. Miss Piggy wasn't a black pig. She was a white pig. Miss Piggy, she was a white pig. She was a white pig. She had lashes and weave. And sadly, our women have adopted from Miss Piggy. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams says, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. But we gotta get away from women like Miss Piggy. Some of you men have had stories of dealing with aggressive women just like Miss Piggy. And women like Miss Piggy will not only make you lose your currency, women like Miss Piggy can make you lose your life. Because when you look at this whole display, and we're going to look at Chantel Simone clips where she had brothers tell their story, because a chronicle is a story. She had no empathy. She was indifferent. This woman lost her brother because she was neurotic about Travis Randolph. And when she couldn't get her way, like so many narcissists, not only do they get aggressive, they personify once again the spirit of Miss Piggy.
Whoa, now it's the frog's turn!
Finish him!
Shout out to security boss. How you doing, sweetie? It's been a minute since I seen you, dear. How you doing, dear? And shout out to James Turner. James Turner crazy as hell, man. But the spirit of Miss Piggy, men got the spirit of Miss Piggy. And see, guys, donate to this channel. We're about to go down the rabbit hole in a minute. But you can't afford, men, to deal with women that have the spirit of Miss Piggy. Because, see, Miss Piggy does not calm you. Miss Piggy will incite you. And just like Dominique Jones incited Travis Rudolph because Dominique Jones had animus in her heart towards Travis Rudolph. She wanted a man that she could control. She thought that her BBLs, her fake weave, and her lashes was enough to keep Travis Randolph. But see, here's the problem, guys, with the modern man. You must raise your standard and stop dealing with women like Dominique Jones, because Dominique Jones is not an exemplar of women of the past. Dominique Jones is a type of a broken woman that needs therapy, and she needs to come see me at the Kosher Clinician, and I can help her work through her thinking error. But she has thinking errors. She has catastrophizing, broadcasting, displaced aggression, and a myriad of different things. And some of you men have dealt with women like this because you came from broken homes. You never had a father to speak life into you and to tell you what your worth is. You never came from a man to tell you, son, don't tolerate women like Dominique Jones. There was a married woman. Dominique Jones was dealing with a simp on the side, and she was getting it in with Travis Rudolph. And that's a problem, guys. That's a problem because 304 culture appears to be the norm in modern times. And some of you men have fell prey to it. Because see, what the modern woman does, they'll dictate to you what you should be looking for instead of her being what you should be. Because see, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. But see, the modern woman would tell you what you should be as it relates to her needs instead of putting herself in a position to get the man that she wants. And I'm from the class of 90. And the stuff you see now, sisters in the 90s were normal. They were natural. They didn't wear a bunch of weave and wrap the claws and lashes. The sisters from the 90s, Gen X, they were natural women for the most part. But now the spirit of Miss Piggy is out of control because women like Miss Piggy will put her hands on you. Women like Miss Piggy will try to mess your name up. Women like Miss Piggy and Dominique Jones are entitled women. They think they're entitled to your time. They think they're entitled to your worth and all of that because they are broken women. And many times, women that have narcissistic traits, men and or women, come from broken homes and broken situations. And as Bishop Charles E. Williams said, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Shout out to my man Top Gun for the 5. He said, Miss Piggy granted service hyenas, a real-life animal planet within the community. You may proceed.
Hello,
and you're dynamite. I appreciate it.
You got the number right.
Shout out to my man JB.
A dynamite.
And Jezebel lost her brother Dumbbell to her own BS. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something, guys. Them ratchets, sometime, according to what the brothers tell me, them ratchets, they got the best box, man. And many times them ratchets are damaged women. And I'm here to be empathetic to some of them ratchets because some of them ratchets, they were violated. So I want to be empathetic to them because they couldn't help that. But them ratchets got a lot of tricks up their sleeve. And you get with a ratchet like Dominique Jones or a ratchet that Zion Williamson dealt with, it can be dangerous because these women ain't playing. And many times they will get men to help destroy you because these men don't think like men. They think like their mama.
Yeah, we can't work the balls on my mom. They be working balls. Kill some of my mom. Bro, they back.
That's on my monkey. That's on my monkey. That's on my.
Yeah. They think like their mama because men that think like their mama deal with over-identification, and that over-identification many times is turned into introjection, internalization, identification, and when they become angry, it's called projection. And that's all maladaptive because many times if it's not properly appropriated, it's dangerous. And some of you men, you over-identify with your mama because you never had a father to teach you how to be a man. And that's a problem. And that's why so many men that weren't raised in Gen X and were raised by their mama many times, they attack masculine men and masculine ideas because subconsciously many times it's called repression. They got issues with men and masculinity. But you have to be real careful with Miss Piggy because once again, guys, Miss Piggy is dangerous. And some of you men have been in relationships where you got the karate chop. You got hit or punched or scratched or had damage done to your car because Miss Piggy couldn't have her way and Miss Piggy wanted control. And consistent with Fred Sanford, if you stay in those relationships, it makes you a big dummy.
Sir, it's okay to feel the way that you feel.
Big dummy. Some of you guys have dealt with women for this amount of time. If you're not careful, it can make you a big dummy. And that's a problem, guys. That's a problem. I got the heavy hitters coming on tonight. He said, guys, shout out to James Turner. He said, guys, watch out for the woodchucks, chucking wood. And that's on Kermit. And that's a deal, right?
That's a
shout out to
deal,
the
right?
man,
That's a deal,
James
right?
Turner.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
And also shout out to my man, The Quiet Storm. He said for tonight's therapy session, with a vast amount of Miss Piggies out there in the world, Kermit should be labeled an endangered species. No doubt, I appreciate The Quiet Storm. I appreciate it, brother. And that's a deal, right? Thank you, sir.
Right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
All right, we got 2 number 1 sponsors thus far, The Quiet Storm and James Turner. And because of that, guys, you all tied for the number 1 sponsors of the stream. Thank you, guys. And see, guys, here's the problem with the Miss Piggy Chronicles. The Miss Piggy Chronicles has turned to the Manhood Chronicles because many of you guys have stories associated with women like Dominique Jones and Miss Piggy. But we're going to go down the rabbit hole on tonight. We're going to look at the stories that Sister Chantel Simone had on her show, and we're going to examine Dominique Jones and how her characteristics, guys, are similar to Miss Piggy. Because imagine if we had men like Miss Piggy. Imagine if Kermit the Frog was aggressive like Miss Piggy. Kermit the Frog would have been canceled a long time ago. Kermit the Frog would have been in a lot of trouble. But we celebrate violence towards men. Or we tend to minimize violence towards men because we don't value men and we don't value the rights of men. No one should put their hands on no one, man or woman. But imagine if we had men that put their hands on women like Miss Piggy, put her hands on Kermit the Frog. And once again, guys, y'all have been in relationships. Some of you men have been in relationships with women like Miss Piggy. Some of you guys have been in relationships. Some of you guys have been in relationships with women like Miss Piggy and Dominique Jones. And it's a problem. It's something that should never happen because men should always be resolute. But see, when you don't know what to look for, women that have narcissistic personality disorder or traits, you can become a slave because you get caught up in their web. So we're about to go down the rabbit hole, guys, in a minute. Guys, if you're getting the notifications, hit 1. We're about to go down the rabbit hole in 1 minute. Share the stream because some men need to hear this. Get the likes up. And guys, we're about to go down the rabbit hole because this is important. So hold tight as we're about to go down the rabbit hole because, you know, Miss Piggy needs to be arrested. And also, Miss Piggy also is like Aunt Esther because Aunt Esther was aggressive like Miss Piggy as well.
What did we do to her? You mean what did she do to us? She had the nerve to call us witches. And she was right. You 3 ugly witches.
All right, guys, we got to go down the rabbit hole, so let's do it. Let's go. And we're going to explore some of these behaviors like Dominique Jones, because Dominique Jones' behavior is typical like so many model women. Let's do it.
Down the rabbit hole we go. This is the part of the show where we assess, examine, collaborate.
Yeah, guys, Miss Piggy says she want all the smoke, and we're gonna talk about this, guys. But before we talk about it, guys, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Have you guys dealt with women like Miss Piggy? Have you guys dealt with women like Dominique Jones and Miss Piggy? And if you have, I need you guys to hit 1. Have you dealt with women like Dominique Jones and Miss Piggy? And if you have, I need you to hit 1.
Oh, now it's the frog's turn!
Finish him!
Shout out to Top Gun, because Top Gun came up with that concept, Miss Piggy. Shout out to him. A pig in a wig. And Miss Piggy is definitely typical of the modern woman. Even though Miss Piggy is a white pig, she got, and many of our women personify Miss Piggy behavior. They don't personify grace, elegance, and demure. They personify violence and aggression, twerking, thought culture, ratchetness. Because once again, guys, I'm from Gen X. I don't remember the stuff that some of you young men are looking at. We didn't deal with ratchet women when we were growing up as young brothers, man. You know, we look past ratchet women. We might well play with them, but we didn't take them serious. But some of you men are making ratchet women your woman. And you're hanging around guys like Kermit the Frog that love to drink tea and gossip, because once again, women like Miss Piggy and these masculine women, they love weak men like Kermit that gossip and weak men like Woodrow. And I want to use satire because sometimes satire tells the story. But the more you know yourself and the more you're not controlled by your penis, because see, your penis, just like Travis Rudolph, guys, let his rooster almost get him in a well of trouble. That's why when you can't control your rooster, it can be highly dangerous. And I get it, as I said before in the prior show, your rooster is your ego. And if you can't control your ego, it can be dangerous.
I got a big ego, ha ha ha, oh such a big ego.
Yeah, some of y'all got big egos, man. Y'all roosters need to be on the house arrest. Cause y'all let that rooster control y'all, man. Y'all let that rooster control y'all, and y'all let that rooster get y'all in a lot of trouble, man. Y'all get with dusty women like Dominique Jones, Mariah Miles, the porn star, and that chick that Zion Williams is messing with, Akima. But see, when men begin to raise the standards and say, ma'am, sorry, you don't qualify, because they'll tell you don't qualify for height and other things, then you can start getting the women that you want. That's why the passport is so powerful, because it's the great equalizer. But we're about to go down the rabbit hole and we're going to explore this woman, Dominique Jones. Let's go back and look at this clip, guys, and y'all going to see this woman being aggressive towards Travis Rudolph. So hold tight.
Oh, it's the frog's turn!
He was throwing punches at Rudolph.
Now, as you guys see here, right here, guys, hold tight. As you guys can see right here, this woman got the spirit of Miss Piggy. She sucker punched him. Just like many times when Miss Piggy be hitting Kermit the Frog, you least suspect it. But watch her sucker punch Travis Rudolph. And once again, guys, some of this is on y'all. You shouldn't deal with women like Miss Piggy, like this woman, Dominique Jones. Because women like Dominique Jones that got on fake weave and lashes and raptor claws, many times those women are insecure. I'm not saying always, but many times they're insecure. I would prefer a natural woman with natural hair. I love natural. And I know some women wear those ornaments sometimes just for convenience. I understand that. But a lot of times women that wear consistent weave, raptor claws, and fake lashes, in my opinion, deal with insecurities. But watch this woman punch this man in the back of his head.
Rudolph during the fist fight, but insisting no one pulled a gun and all four.
Look at that, guys.
Well, now it's the frog's turn.
Finish him. Yeah, you know, and it's not funny. It ain't funny. It's not funny. But but we make fun of men being abused here in America. Because, you know, some of you men have been Miss Piggy chopped many times. Many times y'all dealt with women like Miss Piggy because women that got the spirit of Miss Piggy, once again, guys, they want control. All right, so let's look at it, guys. Hold tight.
Ran and got into their car. But Rudolph's attorney insisted.
Look at the aggression. Feminine women don't do that. Feminine women don't hit men like this woman. Guys, get the likes up, share the stream, please. But look at how she's hitting this man. Look at her.
Insisting Rudolph was acting in self-defense.
And look at Travis. Now, see, Raekwon the man would have knocked her out. But Travis Rudolph just slowly brought her to the side and tried to control her. But this woman got her brothers to delete Travis Rudolph. She got a Kermit Simp to delete Rudolph. And she had an entourage 2 or 4 on 2 because she got upset after she got BBLs, fake lashes, fake lashes, raptor claws, and weave. And because she couldn't get what she wanted in a relationship, she became aggressive.
Oh, now it's the frog's turn.
Finish him. The Miss Piggy Chronicles. And some of you men have stories of dealing with women like Miss Piggy. But let me read through some of these comments real quick, guys. Oh, man, you guys funny, man. Shout out to Top Gun once again. He said these dudes today would get Miss Piggy a BBL and flew her out routine. yeah, these dudes are weak, man. These dudes are weak.
Person.
I wouldn't even look at a woman like that.
Right? Because you are talking to kid a dynamite. Pure dynamite.
And you're correct, Andrew Baker. Weak women deal with violent. Weak men deal with violent women. Yes. When you look at Aunt Esther, when you look at Miss Piggy, they all dealt with weak men. Because once again, guys, they want control. Get the likes up, guys. Share the stream, please. Thank you guys to the ones that have donated thus far. If you got a question or comment, donate to the channel. I'll read it out for you guys. But I'm using satire to add clarity to the conversation. We're going to look at the stories from Chantel Simone. Shout out to Chantel Simone. She had a show recently. And we're going to talk about the stories, once again, that so many men deal with.
after an argument with Dominique Jones, a woman Rudolph maintained several times today was never his girlfriend after Jones found evidence of Rudolph texting other women. The state countered that not only was Rudolph in a relationship, but he was cheating. Here's the comment Rudolph says threw Jones into a rage.
She like, Travis, you can't be telling another female that just got surgery that another female looks better than her and her body looks better than her. She made the call looking for answers pretty much.
And so you had to convince her then based on that.
And see, Travis Rudolph said himself he's a mama's boy. So because a lot of these boys are mama's boys, they over-identify with their moms. They won't put their hands on these women because they don't want to hurt them. But once again, guys, imagine we lived in a world where women laugh at violence transmitted towards men. This man could have lost his life. Imagine the men laughed at, I meant to say men laughed at trauma transmitted or violence transmitted towards women. But we minimize the dignity and human worth of men in America, and we don't talk about bidirectionality as it relates to violence. It's been proven that women tend to become the perpetrators of violence many times, but we tend to minimize it. Hold tight.
Conversation that you weren't exactly, right?
It wasn't too much.
Earlier today, Rudolph's mother took the stand as well, maintaining what happened more than 2 years ago in 2021 was an act of self-defense, a claim echoed by Rudolph today at the stand. And he said he did what he had to do to save he and his brother's life, and that if he hadn't have done so, he wouldn't be here today to testify. Reporting in Palm Beach County, Chris Gilmore.
The accusation has not been proved beyond a reasonable doubt. We will next need to decide.
All right, guys. Hold tight.
Is guilty of any.
The murder trial for former NFL player and FSU star Travis Rudolph continues.
Testimony for the trial. It started Wednesday. Rudolph is accused of killing a man and injuring another during a shooting in Lake Park 2 years ago. Rudolph says it was self-defense. Our Caleb Califano live outside the Palm Beach County Courthouse with more. Caleb.
Well, it definitely was an intense morning here in the courtroom as the defense started their cross-examination of Dominique Jones. That's the former girlfriend of Travis Rudolph. It's also the same woman the defense cast some initial blame on the night of the shooting. Now, the defense going back through Jones and Rudolph's relationship, discussing financial situations, their future, Rudolph's future in the Canadian Football League, and what happened the night of the shooting. Jones walked through how she was, quote, more hurt than angry when she found texts from other women in Rudolph's phone the night of the shooting, but then immediately wanted to leave and not escalate it any further, alleging that Travis was the erratic one and wouldn't let her leave at first. When asked about texts sent to Jones' brother Keyshawn, one of the four men who confronted Travis the night of the shooting, Dominique says a specific inflammatory text she sent, which included the phrase "shoot up," was not meant as a literal threat, but was a text sent out of emotion.
All right, so guys, we're gonna show you with the evidence that this woman has narcissistic traits. I'm not saying she has narcissistic personality disorder. She could, but she definitely got narcissistic traits. And let me show it to you guys. But guys, stay away from women like this. Stay away from women like this. They are dangerous. They don't add any value to your life. That's why I advocate that men travel abroad to single men and get them a passport, and understand that women abroad are not perfect, but your odds are higher for getting a traditional woman. So let's look at this from Law and Crime, and you guys tell me what y'all think.
He went to Canada. His dream was to come back, and his hope was to get a contract with the NFL, right?
I mean, usually that's what people decide. I'm not sure exactly what his decision was, but if you go off to the CFL, yes, that is something that you do try to pursue after.
You also told the jury yesterday that I felt uncertainty because I didn't see him for a month. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay, so you basically did not see him at all for a month, right?
In person, because I was healing, but I did see him through FaceTime, on the phone, through text, every other type of communication.
Why would you feel uncertainty if the relationship had changed course? Why did you care that he was down in Miami?
It's not that I cared, it's just that I just had surgery, so I kind of wanted comforting from him and him to be there a little bit more and things like that. So that's more of what it was.
Well, you had some concerns because the minute he stepped out.
Remember, this woman had a BBL, guys. She's not natural. She has a BBL. She got weave. She got lashes. And for some reason, guys are mesmerized by women like this. I like natural women. As I said before earlier, I understand sometimes women do that as a compliment, but I prefer a natural woman with her natural hair and all. But this is what happens when boys don't have strong masculine fathers to teach them how women operate, and they over-identify with their mothers.
Out of the house when DJ.
You didn't bother.
And you were jealous that he was down in Miami so long, right?
I'm not going to use the term jealous. No, I was not jealous. I wanted him to do well. I wanted him to go to the CFL. I knew that was his dream. So I wouldn't.
This woman is delusional because, guys, she said she wasn't jealous, but it's clear that she was. She was very jealous. Wow. Andrew Baker said she had 3 deletions also. Wow. And a woman that has that kind of damage, guys, as a woman that has dealt with a lot of trauma, that's a lot of trauma to have 3 deletions. 3 deletions is a damaged woman. And a woman that got 3 deletions, that means she's been with a lot of men. And many times, guys, women like her is highly experienced. They got that ratchet, that ratchet sometimes is at a whole nother level because ratchet knows tricks. And many ratchets, sadly, guys, they've been ran through. And I'm going to tell you guys something. This woman must have some hypnotic power because she had a football player that she was dealing with. She was dealing with a gangster simp. And also she was dealing with, and she was a married woman. So she had 3 men in her circle. A simp, a man that she wanted, and being a married woman. This woman, if you look at her, guys, you can see that she's damaged. She's highly damaged. She might even have a personality disorder because women that have personality disorders, they use sex as a way to help them feel whole because they use sex as a way to fill that void. And some women and men use sex as a way to cope. So, but in her case, perhaps, she used sex to control this man because Travis Rudolph and so many other men like him have a big ego because they let their ego get in the way and they end up being big dummies.
Dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy.
And here's the thing about it, guys. We all have been big dummies. We all have been big dummies. We've been big dummies at one point in our lives, at one point or another. We've got with women, they use that ratchet to control us. And thank God we came out unscathed. But sometimes men don't come out unscathed. They get caught up in a web, and they get caught up with women that have alternative motives. And it's a problem. It's a serious problem. And you're right, she is damaged, very much damaged. But yeah, at the same time, they'll tell you what they want. They'll say they're selling for you. Make it make sense, guys.
Call that jealous at all.
You knew then, now again, that after he went to Canada, his dream was to come back and his hope was to get a contract with the NFL, right?
I mean, usually that's what people decide. I'm not sure exactly what his decision was, but if you go off to the CFO, yes, that is something that you do try to pursue after.
Okay. You also told the jury yesterday that I felt uncertainty because I didn't see him for a month. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. So you basically did not see him at all for a month, right?
In person, because I was healing, but I did see him through FaceTime, on the phone, through text, every other type of communication.
Why would you feel uncertainty if the relationship had changed course? Why did you care that he was down in Miami?
It's not that I cared, it's just that I just had surgery, so I kind of wanted comforting from him and him to be there a little bit more and things like that. So that's more of what it was.
Well, you had some concerns because the minute he stepped out of the house when DJ came home, you took it upon yourself to snoop through his phone, right?
I didn't snoop because he gave me the password, so I just want to clarify.
So she said snoop. She said she didn't snoop. But once again, women like this, because they are highly emotionally volatile and insecure, they become dangerous. Shout out to all the good sisters that were actually calling out her bad behavior. One young sister said, wait, why is this man on trial? They came to his house. There are some good sisters out here that get it. This woman said, just disgusting. Listen to her. Be careful what kind of company you keep. So guys, as y'all can tell, there are some good sisters out here that think logically. Acquit that man and charge her for endangerment. Remember guys, this woman is married. Don't know if she's separated, but she's married. She got a simp on the side, and she's dealing with a football player. And she's had 3 deletions according to Andrew Baker. Once again, guys, we want me to read a comment, donate, and I will read it. Thank you, guys.
By that.
Oh, hold on. He did not give you the password that day, right?
He gave it to me to let me know I can look through it whenever I wanted to.
Right, that he gave you that password months earlier on in the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
So this is not a situation where you guys are alone in his house. He says, hey, by the way, here's my password. Feel free to go into my phone. I'm going to go step outside. That didn't happen, right?
No.
Okay. So he walks out for a minute, and you could not resist to take his phone, his personal property, go in, put his password, and start snooping around, right?
Yes, because we were in a relationship and he gave me that password.
Okay. So have you snooped around in his phone on prior occasions with his password?
No, because I just had surgery, so I haven't seen him in a while.
Right. So you were snooping around because you were...
I wouldn't use the word snoop.
Overruled.
You were snooping around because you were concerned about him seeing other women down in Miami. Isn't that the bottom line?
The bottom line is he was my boyfriend at the time. I haven't seen him in a month, and I was curious. That's the bottom line.
Okay. You didn't want to lose him, right?
Of course not.
And Dominique Jones guys look like Megan. I'm gonna show y'all Megan in a minute. She looked just like Megan. Dominique Jones looked just like Megan, guys. But hold tight. Guys, if y'all getting these notifications, hit 1, please.
And when Travis said that he found Kyla's body more attractive than yours, you became infuriated. Right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You weren't upset that he found Kyla more attractive than you?
No.
When you saw the text from Kyla, you told the jury yesterday it was time for me to go. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. And when you saw the text from Kyla, Travis was still outside, right? He was out with his brother. You were looking through it.
Remember, guys, this woman lost her brother, has no empathy. Watch out for women that lack empathy. Watch out for women that lack empathy, has no empathy.
His phone when he was outside.
Correct.
So you waited for Travis to come back into the house to confront him, did you not?
I more so didn't confront him. I just went into the room to grab my things.
So you didn't walk right out the door, did you?
I went to go grab my things, and he seen his phone on the couch, so he kind of put 2 and 2 together.
You waited for him to come back in so that you could confront him. Isn't that what's happening?
I didn't confront him. He kind of confronted me about the situation because he's seen his phone was open.
You wanted to hurt him, and that's why you stayed in the house so that you could confront him and then destroy his property. Did you not?
No, I wanted to grab my things and I wanted to leave.
Okay. Well, you immediately went off on him, didn't you?
No.
Yesterday you told the jury I was hurt. I was not angry. You remember that?
Yes.
But you were actually very angry, were you not?
I was more so hurt than angry.
But you were also angry, weren't you?
I was more so hurt than angry.
Yeah, guys. Megan, she sounds just like. Hold on for a minute, guys. Let me show y'all something, man. She is like sounds just like Megan. She look just like Megan. Hold tight. You guys gonna see for yourself. She looks like Megan. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
You new fat ugly girlfriend.
Man, art imitates life. Art imitates life, man. Yeah. and that's the guys. These are the type of women you guys deal with, man. Got the spirit of Miss Piggy, man, and the spirit of Miss Piggy. They just like Dominique Jones, abrasive, aggressive. Just look at her. Look at Megan. And some of you men have dated a Megan. Some of you men have dated aggressive women, just like Megan. And you got to be careful when dealing with women like this because they're dangerous. And guys, this is what some of you brothers see. This is what some of you brothers see with so many these modern women, just like Megan, that are damaged irreparably, and like the tenacity to do the right thing. Shout out to my man Andrew Baker. He said that salute kosher. He said the worst part of this whole situation is that 2 black women prosecutors would rather charge the black man who's the victim than the black women who was the criminal. Travis should have never been on trial, and I agree with you 1,000,000%, Andrew Baker. But that's why I do these shows, guys, because where was BLM when this happened? Where were the female advocates crying out against this woman that was trying to get him deleted because he didn't want a relationship with him? That's why when people talk about community, I laugh at it because they are selective in their outrage. Thank you, Andrew Baker, for the 20. And that's a deal, right, brother? I appreciate it.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
I appreciate it, brother. Guys think we got a troll, but I'm gonna put the troll in. Yeah, the scheme afflictions coming out, man. It's unfortunate, man. You know, it's really unfortunate, guys, when you start telling the truth. People will attack the message, the messenger instead of the message. And that speaks to their ignorance. That speaks to their brokenness. And that speaks to their pathology because they want to be in control. And women like that, guys, are broken. And that's why you have to get away from women like Megan. You have to get away from women like Dominique Jones because they are broken and many of them have mental illness. And you don't argue with fools because fools don't talk in logic. They talk through feelings.
You didn't bother to take her phone or get her phone until April 16th of 2021, correct?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true you told Dominique Jones, do not erase nothing from that phone? Isn't that true?
We discussed the importance of not eliminating any data that is in the phone.
So do you agree that you told her don't erase nothing from that phone?
Not in such words, but that was a topic that was discussed.
All right, that's important to you as a detective to make sure that someone doesn't tamper with evidence, right?
Yes, sir.
And you made that perfectly clear to her. Whatever words I want to use or your words that you actually use, you made that really clear to Dominique Jones not to tamper with data, I think was your words, right?
Yes.
All right, and that wasn't a joke. You were serious about it.
Of course.
And tampering with evidence in a capital felony is a first-degree felony, right?
Yes.
You can get up to 30 years in prison for doing that potentially, right?
Yes.
And Dominique Jones did tamper with evidence in this case. Isn't that true?
She approached me with the information.
The answer is yes or no, and then you can explain. Isn't it true that she tampered with evidence in this case, ma'am?
I would say no.
Okay.
In and of itself, yes. If deleting a text message, of course, would be considered tampering with evidence. However, because she approached me first and she told me, listen, I freaked out. I had sent a text message. I knew it would be misconstrued, and I freaked out and I deleted it. I didn't ask her that. She divulged that information.
And remember, guys, this woman had text messages that were accosted against Travis Randolph. This woman had text messages that was accosted against Travis Rudolph. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Travis Rudolph should have never been on trial. But see, you get miscrinks and some of these clowns that talk about tolerance, ones that are mentally disturbed, have body dysmorphia and don't know themselves, and they have ad hominem attacks because they have traumas within themselves. And that's why I'm telling you, man, you have to be very careful who you deal with in this day and age, because some of these women are crazy. And some of them might be transformers too, like Megan.
Information to me first and foremost.
What date is
so,
how do you know that gun wasn't pointed? You can't tell us with any certainty, based on everything you did in this case, that Tyler Robinson pointed his gun at Mr. Rudolph and his brother, or did not point his gun. You don't know that, do you?
No.
He didn't have a concealed weapons permit, did he, Tyler Robinson, back on April 7th and April 6th of 2021?
He had applied for it and had his G license, but I don't believe he had his concealed carry permit yet.
So he was carrying a gun illegally if it was in his pocket, right?
Technically, yes, I suppose so.
Well, you're a police officer. You arrest people for that all the time.
And this simp, Tyler Robinson, was an accomplice for Megan / Dominique Jones / Miss Piggy, because men have no standards. I would never have looked at a woman like Dominique Jones, 3 deletions, weave, eyelashes. This woman is a walking time bomb. But once again, guys, because you have no control over your phallus, and because you love your rooster more than you love logic, this is what happened.
I got a big ego, ha ha ha, oh, such a big ego.
Guys, Yasmin Adrena, whatever it was, has been transformed. Hold on for a minute, guys. Whatever that person was that was causing chaos, they just got transformed. They got transformed. See, guys, I don't bother nobody. You know, we won't bother nobody. We won't bother nobody. But she wanted to. He, she, it, they wanted to smoke. So it got it. So they've been transformed. But anyway, back to the topic, guys.
Fine, don't you? Well, maybe not as a homicide detective, but when you were a road patrol, you did that.
I've arrested people for that before.
That's a felony, right?
Yes, sir.
You get up to 5 years in prison.
Yes, sir.
You never charged Mr. Robinson with carrying a concealed firearm, right?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Did you give him immunity or a free pass because he was helping you?
No, sir.
You didn't bother to...
And that's the hypocrisy, guys, when they come down
bullets just started coming in
to male violence. That's the hypocrisy.
The jury was shown crime scene photos, including the car the victims were in.
Now listen, Sebastian John Jacques, he lost his life simping for Megan. He was simping for Megan. And that's why I tell you guys not to be simps. Because simping should be in the DSM-5. Because it's a mental disorder. It's a mental disorder. This man lost his life and attacked Travis Rudolph and his brother because this woman couldn't get what she wanted. And it happens all too often, guys, because some of these women, shout out to all the good sisters, shout out to all the good sisters that are mature, feminine, and respect human beings. But when they can't get what they want, they become aggressive because they want control. But more or less, not only do they want control, guys, a lot of these women got the spirit of Miss.
Whoa, now it's the frog's turn!
Finish him!
The car is riddled with bullet holes. Prosecutors say Rudolph fired 39 shots at the car as the men were leaving. Rudolph claims 2 of the men in the car were pointing guns at him, and he shot at them to protect himself. 1 man was killed, another was wounded.
That was never my intentions for no one to die.
The jury also heard from Dominique Jones, Travis Rudolph's ex-girlfriend. She testified that in April 2021, she and Rudolph had a fight, and he told her to get her things and get out of his house. That night, prosecutors say Jones was angry, and she said...
Shout out to Top Gun once again for the 5. He said, some would say that these gentlemen stand a better chance overseas. I'll say if they go overseas and deal with low-level broads, they might not return. Yes, right, Top Gun. That's why I advocate that men travel abroad, because it removes the veneer and the illusion of dealing with a quality woman. Yes, there are wicked women in other countries. But I told you guys there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become optimized. And world travel will help remove the veneer of thinking you have quality and making you think you have a good woman. That's why I advocate for world travel. Because when you deal in countries where the men are masculine and where the women know and respect masculinity, you don't have to worry about women like Miss Piggy, but also you don't become a sucker for love. Some of you men are suckers for love because you keep dealing with women like Dominique Jones. Low vibrational women, a low vibrational woman, a woman that has narcissistic traits, a woman that's disrespectful, a woman that don't have any care for mankind, and a woman that thinks she's entitled to top tier men. But how in the hell can a woman with 3 deletions, weave, and fake nails, lashes, overweight, and got a damn nerve to tell you what you got to bring to the table. Men, you got to raise your standards, because when you raise your standards, you will raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration will attract you to quality women that can help you meet your mission here on earth. Some of you good men right now make $45,000 to $50,000 to $60,000 a year. And you got women that'll look down on you because they say that the money you make is not enough. But I challenge you on tonight to recuse yourself of women like Dominique Jones and women that have had a lot of fun and ran through, and get you a high-quality woman whenever you decide to travel abroad, with the understanding that women abroad are not perfect, and with the understanding they have issues too. All right, guys and friends, listen to her. Hold tight.
Sent her brother a text message instructing him to go to Travis Rudolph's home and shoot him.
I made
She sent her brother a text message. Sebastian John Jacques, and ex-girlfriend explained, shoot up his blank in the text. So that makes her an accessory to a crime, in my opinion. Shoot up his blank. But where's the outrage from these liberal groups when it comes down to justice and equality? We know where it comes from, because they are full of misandry. And they got issues against black men or men in general, because they see you as not having any type of dignity or humanity.
A terrible choice of words during that time. I was 23, I was young, I was dumb. I made a very, very bad decision when I said those words, but it was never my intentions. I was upset, and I ended up saying something that I didn't mean. Like, people say things when they're upset that they don't mean all the time, but
the bullets just started coming in.
Yeah, put that down.
Is it scary, Judge?
And flip it around so the muzzle's pointing towards me, not out there towards the jury. All right?
And as you guys can tell, this woman is very delusional.
The four men arrived when Rudolph's girlfriend contacted them, claiming
guys,
Rudolph had a...
Once again, this was the video. This was the video where she came and tried to get him deleted.
Assaulted her after she found texts from other women on his phone, telling them to come shoot up the house.
Were you aware before you left for Mr. Rudolph's house that your sister had smashed Travis's cell phone?
No.
One of those men, the girlfriend's brother, testifying he was throwing punches at Rudolph during the fistfight, but insisting no one pulled a gun and all four ran and got into their car.
Once again, guys, look at her punching him in the back of his head. Look at her punching this man in the back of his head.
But did your sister tell you prior to going over there to have a talk that she hit him over the head with a trophy?
No.
Did your sister tell you before you went over there to have this chat that she smashed his PlayStation?
No.
Did she tell you that she picked up a tequila bottle and hit him over the head?
No.
Did she tell you that she called Tierney, his sister, and threatened to have him killed?
No.
Did she tell you that she called his mother, Linda, and made threats to her as well?
No.
You didn't know any of that?
No.
If you had known any of that, would that have changed what you did?
I'm unsure.
Rudolph shooting 39 rounds as they fled following a fight, showing jurors this surveillance video of bullets flying from Rudolph's semi-automatic rifle as he chased them down the street.
He came outside trying to fight. We were trying to get to the car, and he went.
One man is deleted. Her brother is deleted. One was shot, all because they followed a woman. They didn't have any knowledge outside of themselves, because they followed this woman.
He went back into the house, got a gun, came outside. We were in the car driving away, and he started to shoot at us.
And why didn't you just go man to man and have a talk with him? Right? You're the big protector. Why didn't you get in your car and go talk to him?
I'm not sure.
You've said she's your sister. You love her. You're her
Yes.
protector. You could have gotten in that car and drove to his house and had a chat, right?
Yes.
You didn't do that.
No.
Right. Because
Yes.
you weren't there to talk. That's what you want this jury to believe, but that's not the truth. You were there to shoot him because
No.
that's what you were instructed to do. Why did you need 3 other grown men, one of whom we know definitively had a gun, the one you sold him? Why did you need to go there with your crew, with your posse, to talk?
I didn't need them, but they came with me, yes.
The 4 men arrived when Rudolph's girlfriend contacted them, claiming Rudolph had assaulted her after she found.
All right, guys. Hold up, one more. Gotta handle it just like a little child, man. Don't have no boundaries. He gotta handle it just like a child because she doesn't have any boundaries, man. Have no boundaries.
So what, bro? Go do what you do, bro. Go do what you do, bro. You in your feelings.
You gotta be careful, man, when you deal with dusty women, man. You gotta be extremely careful. Because women like that are dangerous.
What is it? How was that?
Now remember this boy lost his life. Her brother lost his life defending his queen's honor. This boy lost his life defending his queen's honor because he didn't have a father to teach him not to indignify himself for an unsavory woman. All right, I'm gonna stop it right here, guys. Hold on.
Stop calling your brothers and your cousins for every little argument, because you women sit on.
All right, so shout out to my man, Keelan Powell sent me 5 for simping for defending a married whore. Shout out to Keelan Powell for the 5. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, man, it's pathetic, man. I don't know why guys put themselves in those predicaments.
It's the money.
Shout out to Top Gun for the 2. He said that I'm saying they'll lose their life. No doubt. I appreciate it, brother. They will lose their life overseas.
Because you are talking to kid a dynamite.
Overseas, they'll definitely lose their life.
Oh my.
Yeah. He was definitely too easy. So you don't put your hands on nobody. Men gotta stop feeling like they gotta protect women that don't have no respect for men. We're human beings too. And you put your hands on the wrong man, you might lose your life, man. You know. This is deplorable. All right, so guys, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you a little bit of the Manhood Chronicles. Chantel Simone did a good show. And this show, guys, this not show, but this conversation is a reflection. Is a reflection of what so many of you men have been through. Shout out to Chantel. She did a great stream. Hold tight.
Like we didn't share the clip, but there's one clip where she was like, but he didn't get shot. Did he die though? You know, where it's like you sent them over there to shoot up his shit, but he didn't get shot. But somebody did, and it was one of her brother's best friend. She don't care.
All through the trial, they were saying that this woman was plotting. She was on a three-way text conversation. When that conversation where she said, go shoot up his shit, and then the brother was like, he's a dead man walking. She was in a three-way text conversation with.
All right, how many of you men have dealt with? How many of you young men and older men have dealt with women like Dominique Jones? And what should the conversation look like, guys, to younger men to keep them out of trouble? Because women like Dominique Jones is highly dangerous.
With her brother and one of the guys who got shot, he didn't die. And all through, like, she's literally monitoring their every move. Where are you guys now? When are you leaving? Are you there yet? Right? And after the defense attorney believes that she was there on the scene because literally after the shooting, she sent a message to them to call her. Right? So they believe that she was actually there on site, but she just wasn't in front of the house. So you can see this woman planned it from when she's saying, "Oh, I was just in the heat of the moment, and I just said something that I later regretted." No, throughout the entire night, from 9:45 to minutes after 12, she was texting them the entire way. When are you guys leaving? Who all coming? Right? So she wasn't saying something that she regretted later. She literally plotted and planned this thing out. She orchestrated it from top to bottom.
Because that's what I go to.
There's not one part of this woman where she believes for any reason that she will be charged for any crime. Like even when the defense attorney brought it up, she thought it was preposterous. Me? Why would I get charged?
Because that's what a good 2 to 3 hours of her being able to calm down. Because say she was heated, we've all been triggered and say things we don't mean. 3 hours pass and you're still sending your people over there to shoot him up. That can't be an excuse. She definitely the intention was to, if not harm him, but prove a point. And the results of that caused someone's life. She needs to be charged for it. It's crazy.
This is why women behave like you. We've all seen women who have been cheated on, and they'll react violently. They'll run the man over with a car. They'll shoot him. They'll throw oil on him or hot water on him. Right? They behave violently because they believe that they are justified in all their rage. This woman was married, and she uses the excuse that the only reason why she didn't tell Travis she was married is because he never asked. Right? But she went through his phone and saw him talking to a girl, and then she reacted violently, broke almost half the stuff in his house, broke his car window, and then lied to her brother and his friends to get him killed. Black women believe they can behave this way, and they are justified because you didn't do what they want you to do. This is all about power. This is all about a power dynamic. They believe that black men are theirs to control, and if you do not behave and act in the manner that they believe you should behave in, they will punish you. And if they cannot punish you using the system, they will manipulate men to physically assault you and cause you great bodily harm. And women aren't calling this out because you're like the only woman I know who's even talking about this. So women are not even calling this behavior out. They're not even saying this is deplorable. And it happens every day in the black community.
I know Miss Crimson Cure. I know Miss Crimson Cure did a video on it. I don't know if Pink Book Lessons did a video on it. Do y'all know if Pink Book Lessons did a video on it? Oh, I guess not. I guess y'all don't know. But yeah, it's the sisterhood strong. Right? The sisterhood is so strong, and the simple fact that they can do this and get away with it. They can participate in this behavior. We see time and time again what women do once they are triggered. I brought up Courtney Michelle earlier. She was triggered, so what she started was spreading lies. They act out of their emotion. L.A. Barrett, you brought up how you'll see women driving their car, using their car to hit men. Someone was telling me a story the other day. She was out with a couple, and in the middle of dinner, the lady pulled a knife on her husband. And I'm just like there are people out there who just don't know how to control their emotions.
There's a football player. His name is DeAndre Hopkins, right? And his mother is blind, right? And he told a story about how his mother became blind. Essentially, her mother was messing with a man who was married, and that married woman tracked him down to her house, right? The mother. And when she opened the door to the married woman, the woman threw some kind of chemical concoction, some sort of acid, and blinded his mother, right? And his mother is to this day blind because a woman whose husband was cheating, right, threw acid in his mother's face, right? This is what you see constantly in the black.
The mother to this day is blind, guys, because this woman had the spirit of Miss Piggy. And we tolerate this type of violence. We tolerate it. Nothing is ever done, and we always minimize their behavior. And we wonder why we have the problems that we have, because there's never a consequence. But let there have been a man that done the same thing that Dominique Jones would have done. The only thing most men are asking for is fairness and equity in law. But Dominique Jones admitting get away with injustice, and many times it's met with a slap on the wrist.
Community, because anytime when black women show small acts of aggression that is irrational, right, and hyper violent, no one checks them, no one condemns them. We give them carte blanche to behave that way, and we allow them to use the excuse of emotion, right? We allow them to say, oh, I was upset. Oh, he made me angry. Oh, he made me upset. So when we allow women to behave this way when they're 14, 15, 16 years old, they grow into entitled adults who believe that if you make me upset, then anything that I do to you is justifiable, right? And I will have a system behind. We see it all the time. Black women attack black women all the time in restaurants, in fast food places, on the airlines, right? As soon as you make them upset, they react violently because they know that there's a system in place that will not only allow them to do that, but it will protect them if they do it.
100%. There was even a video that you posted of a mom pulling up on a kid. It's like that's the example they set. Violence is their how
bus
they
drivers,
try to resolve.
school teachers, neighbors. I mean, there was one lady in Orlando who was fighting a neighbor and told her daughter to go get the daughter was like 12 years old. She told her daughter to go get the gun and to shoot the neighbor that she was fighting. This happened in Orlando. Right. So
y'all remember when that TikTok challenge was going on, when they would run to their kid and be like, "Oh, somebody's trying to fight me, and I need you to fight the kid." Y'all remember that? I think it was last year this time, and everybody was laughing at it, laughing at the kid reaction. And I'm just like, why are we exposing our children to violence?
Listen, I'm from a very, very, very violent neighborhood right in Miami, and I do not remember black women being this violent. And I'm not that old, right? When I was in school, you rarely saw women fight. I mean,
and guys, even though it was satire, we laugh at violence. We laugh at violence towards men. And even though Miss Piggy is used as satire, we laugh at violence towards men. If men or any relic was as aggressive as Miss Piggy, they would have been canceled a long time ago. But guys, once again, this is the world that we live in.
See it every now and again. You rarely saw women react violently, right? And somehow in 25 years, anytime I go anywhere and people are fighting, it's black women. And it's over the dumbest, silliest reasons. Oh, she said this. She looked at me this way. I don't know what's the cause of it. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's the drugs, the music, the reality television. But the reality is we have a violence problem within our black women, and no one wants to address because it's almost illegal to criticize black women. You cannot say anything about black women. And then you'll have these women who'll be like, well, not all women. But what is the threshold that it becomes a problem? 10%? 15%? 20%? What percent of women does it have to be in order for us to say, at least figure out what is the cause of it? Where is this coming from? Right? Because black women are the main progenitors of this behavior, and they're also the main recipients of it. That girl who went on vacation with her friends to Mexico and was beaten to death by one of her friends, right? So black women are the main recipients of this violent behavior, yet they don't even want to talk about it and want to see what the cause of it is and what could possibly be the remedy.
100%. Shout out to Successful MD. Although it's not surprising, you do a good job exposing the nonsense. Thank you so much, and thank you for being in here and for supporting. Lisa says it's reality TV. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I believe it's reality TV too. The drama that we see, what we consume, we become. And like we already know, we say this already. If my platform was to start drama and to curse out people, and I get the most views when I'm talking about Courtney's long titty. People want drama. People are addicted to drama, and it's manifesting in our behaviors. It's we don't know how to control ourselves. We don't know how to control our emotion. We think that we can send 4 men over to shoot up a guy's shit and not deal with the consequences. Like, who says that? Who does that? And the fact that she put it in a text message confirms your point, LA Barrett. Because if you go say something like that, don't put it in a text message where there's evidence.
I personally think it is the reality TV, because I mean, this is a new phenomenon, and it started around maybe 10 to 15 years ago. And as you see, reality TV, especially the one that is geared toward black women, right? It's nothing but just black women fighting each other, right? Either verbal altercations or...
Do you mean remember a time, especially brothers from the 90s, where y'all saw this level of violence towards men? Do you guys remember this? Because I don't remember it being this violent. I don't remember it. But these guys are the stories from men that have dealt with violent women. Have you dealt with violent women like Dominique Jones? Or is your story similar to some of these brothers? Because the Manhood Chronicles deal with stories and the struggles of men and masculinity.
Or physical altercation, it's constant, just black women going back and forth, trying to destroy one another, right, over the smallest grievances. And it's getting worse and worse. Now they have these shows that are on the Zeus Network that are just solely fighting. It's nothing. There's no even real context or narrative around the show. It's 100% just black women attacking each other for 30, 40 minutes straight. So I believe it is a reality TV. But what are we going to do about it? Like the women who are watching it and supporting it, they don't want to stop watching it, right? So what do we do as a society about these networks and these television shows that constantly perpetuate black women attacking one another for the smallest nonsense?
I think honestly, the only thing we can do is those of us who are aware of what's going on, we just protect our kids from it. Because as you said, the hooligans don't want to stop watching it, and these networks are making money
Bro, Chantel wild, man. Chantel's wild.
off it. So they're not going to stop showing it. We just have to not watch it and protect our children, and don't put our children in the same environment as these hooligans. Ian, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah. I think that what you're looking at is that black women essentially want to destroy their community and their environment. I think that's what you're looking at. I don't think it's the television per se. I think that as Kevin Samuels put, Order 66, something has just gone off where they are out to destroy themselves and destroy everything around them. I think that's essentially what we're looking at now. And unfortunately, there's no one to stop them. Because white supremacy is like, okay, this is a good thing. Essentially that the women are destroying their community. So, that's less work that we have to actually put in to, keeping down the community. I mean, look at how the one guy was on the stand. I'm not sure exactly how he was related to her, but the lady, he was being asked like, do you still love her? And are you going to do things for her? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a simp all the way to
what
the
guy?
end,
Her brother?
I don't know who he was.
It was a brother.
It was a brother. Okay, yeah. I mean, but essentially, your sister got your friend killed, and you're still kind of sympathetic to this chick. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he's the son husband, and I guess she's the mother of the family in that sense.
I remember it. Her brother and like the defense attorney was asked. No, the one of them, the prosecutor, the defense attorney was asking, if no one the city.
Guys, briefly, what's been some of your stories in dealing with women like Dominique Jones? What's been your story in dealing with women like Dominique Jones?
Situation, would you do the same thing again? And like he couldn't admit that it was wrong, because then that would be putting blame on his sister. And
exactly.
As you said, like his best friend died as a result of this, and he still can't admit that. Yeah, the reason being it's because his sister sent them over there to shoot up. Like, it's crazy the loyalty that these son husbands have for black women, especially the toxic ones. And then it's gaslighting when black women bawl that black men don't protect us. Meanwhile, 4 men are pulling up on a guide for what? Like, she didn't show up with a black eye, her lips weren't busted, nothing, just her word, and they needed to just.
And it, not only is Chantel right with the gaslighting, most that have narcissistic traits gaslight, but they move the goalposts. They move the goalposts.
All they needed was her word, and they pull up on this man with guns at 12 o'clock in the morning. It makes no sense.
And can I say this last thing, because I gotta go, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the saddest part of it all, the extreme saddest part of it all, is that was her younger brother and his friends. And these guys weren't even street guys. It's not like she had some brother who was this big thug and, you know, he was already throwing his life away and he was on his way to prison. This guy was in college. Her brother went to University of Florida.
Shut up.
These guys were from Del Rey. They're from the suburbs.
Shut up.
So she sent her bunch of suburbanite younger brother and his college friends to go. He's not even a gangster. Like you said, you literally put a battery in his back to throw his life away, when all indication that this guy was going to be a successful black man in society.
And some of you guys have had women to put batteries in your backs because you don't value yourself. This man is basically throwing his life away, guys. Basically throwing his life away because he didn't value himself as a man. And that's a problem.
You almost put him in a position to throw his life away through prison or the graveyard because of your emotion. Your younger brother who you're supposed to be protecting.
You can even look at
that's sociopathic behavior. That is not just a narcissist. That is a person who does not care about anybody else but themselves. You put 4 college students in a place where they can kill themselves, right, or go to prison because you're upset.
Look at Jay Morant. His mother is the one them to be with gun charges. Called him.
You're breaking up, Ian.
Talking about she was. Can you?
Ian, you're breaking up, but I know you mentioned Jay Morant.
Yeah, Jay Morant. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I said that even in the case of Jay Morant, his mother, he's in an NBA, one of the most famous NBA players now, and had some of the most lucrative contracts, and his mother is calling him to with a gun to go stand up for his sister's honor or her honor or something when she was at a restaurant or some stupidness, so which was one of the several cases where he got caught up and fined from the NBA. This is his mother knowing he's an NBA player, telling him to pull up with a gun.
As LA Barrett, and thank you so much for calling up LA Barrett. As he said towards the end, as a mother, you're supposed to be protecting your son. As an older sister, you're supposed to be protecting your brother. So I'm pretty sure it's hard to get into UF. So I know that he sacrificed a lot to get accepted into UF. So he wasn't just no street dude. Like, you need a high GPA, you need a high SAT scores, and you need to be involved in the community. But still, his sister was able to manipulate him. It honestly says a lot about the men of our community too, especially those men who are raised by single moms and who think that the loyalty to the sisterhood is more important than their future. B-Law, what are your thoughts on this? Thanks for calling up.
Hello, Chantel. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Let me say something here. This is a perfect example of the psychology of the modern world today. Women believe, at least a lot of them do, I'm not going to say all, but I would say a lot of women believe that they are superior to their men, especially in the Black community. So because they feel that they're superior to their men.
And guys, once again, some of you men got to blame yourself for this. This man is right. Some do feel that they're superior to their men. They look down on you. Because how can a woman that got weave, lashes, 3 deletions, and overweight even have access to the men that she had access to. Once again, guys, I'm from Generation X. We didn't look at women like this woman. I would never even looked at this woman because in my mind, she would have been a nobody to me. But men have lowered their standards so much because you guys are more concerned about your rooster instead of being concerned about your values as a man. And when you're more concerned about your rooster, then it makes you this.
Dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy.
Then they view their lives as expendable or disposable. It doesn't matter about your accomplishments. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. You work for me. You work to get me what I want. You lay down your life for me. You put your best foot forward. You give me your youth. You give me your hard work. You give me your ethic. You give me your athleticism. You give me all of your best talents. And whenever I'm ready to throw you away, I can throw you away whenever I please. You are my weapon. You are my shield to use as I want to. And if I don't think you're viable enough, I will just simply throw you to the side and replace you whenever I see fit. This is that happening in real time. This whole situation is that in real time.
That sounds like slavery. That sounds like white supremacy.
Well, let me ask you a question. When it comes to acts of violence, or when it comes to just acts, period, a man, even when he's doing something bad, no matter, and even when a woman does something worse than what he does, he's still considered doing worse than her. So a man can do bad, but a woman can never do bad. I mean, a woman can never do worse than a man, even when he does something less than her. Like, so perfect example, she could do violence towards him. She could threaten his life. She can facilitate breaking his things, all of these things. That's never deemed as worse as him defending himself against her, as him protecting his own home to ensure that his family doesn't get killed or shot up or Lord knows what. His actions will always be.
All right, guys. I just want to show you guys some of the struggles that men currently deal with in dealing with modern women. And it's clear that this woman, guys, got narcissistic traits. And I would definitely say the spirit of Miss Piggy. But you guys don't have to deal with women like that moving forward. Focus on yourself, sharpen your mind, get your money up, get your self-esteem up, and don't deal with women like that. We understand overall there's some good women out here. They're far and few in between. But you have more that got the spirit of Miss Piggy than having a spirit that's conducive to being feminine and helping a man get the best version of himself or be the best version of himself. We're living in weird times, man. I've never seen the world so aggressive and the world so hostile towards good people, men and women. And regardless of what you say or do, there's a hatred for the truth. And I realize that's not your problem, men, and that ain't my problem. It's their problem. And when people have their own issues or idiosyncrasies, you don't worry about them. You keep moving and let them deal with their own issues. Because there's a lot of distress and foolishness going on in this world. But listen, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sure you guys are dealt with the spirit of Miss Piggy. This is the second or the first episode of the Miss Piggy Chronicles.
Oh, now it's the frog's turn!
Finish him! Man, yeah, I know some of you guys have dealt with Miss Piggy, man. Y'all dealt with a lot of modern Miss Piggies. White pigs, black pigs, yellow pigs, red pigs, all kind of pigs, man. And we had comic book characters like Miss Piggy. There was a man. He was been canceled a long time ago, man. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Andrew Baker, #1 sponsor of the stream, guys. We're going to continue to work hard to move this channel forward. The algorithm is weird. I think it suppresses male content. It is what it is. We should have had at least 50 to 100. But anyway, it's like everybody's struggling. But anyway, I'm grateful for the people that came in on tonight. And yeah, you're right, Top Gun. It was different as a whole. I agree with you 1,000%, brother. But anyway, guys, we're going to sign off. I thank you and appreciate you guys for tuning in. And man, learn to control your rooster. If you can control your rooster, everything else will take care of itself.
I got a big ego, ha ha ha, oh, such a big ego.
If you can control your ego, then you won't be a slave to many of these women and their shenanigans in the West. Get your passport. Focus on yourself. Understand that women abroad are not perfect. They got issues too. But the odds of finding a quality woman, in my opinion, is a lot higher because they still have strong traditional families. So anyway, guys, I'm about to sign off. And don't be a sucker for love. All right, guys, signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. And once again, guys, it's been a good one, all right? So y'all guys be good. And we're signing off.
Fire for your mind. Culture clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't culture. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Why check cash roll, yeah, I need mine. Why check cash roll, yeah, I need my money line. Why check cash roll, yeah, I need my money line. Why check cash roll, yeah, I need my money line. Watch out for those who surround you, need no funny kind. You can't see what's on my brain, I live inside my mind. Out of space and out of sight, you need me in my line. Need no face, don't need no phonies, no. Need no snakes, no only homies, down for show. On go. Get a book and get the front and we load up and roll. I got kids, yeah, I got staff, I make a little need more. I sell records, you sell packs, not on my level, no. I'm a pop star, I'm a rock star, I'm a winner. Think I'm not hard, you smoke rock, car waste, man, why you dumb? I'm with airline, we on airlines like we on the run. I'm with take girls run up on me, they done. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Why check cash, yeah, and I need my hands. Why I check cash, yeah, and I need my money. Why I check cash, yeah, and I need my money. Why I check cash, yeah, and I need my. I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, no matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, no matter what. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what. Told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car till you tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, no matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, no matter what. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what. Told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what. Told ya I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Swipe. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Swerving, making plays, Ferrari red. Never out my zone, touchdown in my hands. Only fam around me, I can't have no friends. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. Ever since I was a teen, had prices on my head. Had to cut you off, you left me out for dead. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. Ballpoint on the beat, ballpoint make them dance. We came up from nothing, now we're making plans. Just picked up some bands, Tell her ask it questions when I come and grind. On the run like a runaway. Only way is the money way. New chain, no jewelry. No games, don't fool me. 21, been a boss. Take the game, pay the cost. Heard you roll a TikTok. Need to get another watch. Just picked up some bands, come again. They do what I do, I'm like Simon says. I'm the running man, rapping rubber bands. They do what I do, I'm like Simon